When I was in college, trying to decide what I was going to do with my life, was I going to graduate, get a job, do that 40-hour a week, 50-hour a week work life, live for the weekends, or was I going to try to start something on my own? Fast forward, I ended up dropping out of college, starting my own business, and I also still have a job. But I'll tell you, I'm a lot more gratified knowing that I have a job with a side business that is going to potentially get me out of there than if I just had a job and really no other expectations in my life. So I'm Chris. What we're going to be talking about today is, should I start a business or should I get a job? I don't think the answer is that simple. I think the answer is actually both. So when you're looking at your life, you could be 20 years old, you could be 40 years old, you could be 60 years old and watching this video. If you're older, then you've probably had quite a few jobs. Maybe you've had a few businesses. If you're younger and you're just getting into the workforce, you're just getting out of high school, just getting out of college, trying to decide what you want to do with your life, you're kind of at a crossroads. But what I'll tell you is, just because you want to start a business, take control of your life and make your own money and make your own decisions and decide when you're going to vacation, it's not necessarily that easy. Starting a business is tough, but it's gratifying. Having a job is also tough, and it's not as gratifying. So what I would recommend is starting a side business. I would get a job, decide a field that you can work in where you're going to learn something that's going to help you progress in the business that you want to start. So I'm working in sales. The businesses that I have are mostly in sales. And if you think about really business in general, it's impossible to have a business without having sales, because otherwise you don't have a business, right? So it's kind of the chicken or the egg sort of conundrum. What came first? Well, in reality, you got to put food on the table. You got to pay rent. Unless you want to live at home with your parents for the next 5 years while you're trying to figure it out, then maybe you can get away with not having a job and trying to grow your business. If you have somebody there that's able to help support you while you're chasing your dreams, I think that's awesome. Let's talk about life satisfaction. How are you going to feel in 10 years and you still have that job, or it's in 10 years and maybe you've tried a few different businesses and one is starting to work? And that's where I'm at right now. I've had multiple businesses. I've had some successes. I've had some failures. I have one that's going well right now, that's actually looking pretty good. That might actually be a big solution for me. Really what it comes down to is, how do you want to live your life? I currently don't have a wife or any kids, so I'm a lot freer than most people. I like to think of myself, or what I want my life to be like, more so than how it is today, is as a free-range human. I want to have the ability to work however many hours I have to work to get the job done in my business and in my job, but have the ability to go and do that work from wherever I want. I've been looking at sailboats. I follow a lot of the sailboat YouTubers that maybe some of you watch their videos. I think sailing and working from your sailboat and living remote like that would be really cool. I was really into the whole van life, camper living, working remote that way. There's a lot of options that you can have. What I'm probably going to end up falling back on is leaving New England, where I've been living my entire life, moving down south, either South Carolina or Florida, and having the ability to travel. If I can get out of my house and I can go travel and I can see the world, or even just at first see the US, I think that's a big win for me. I want to be able to get up and go. If I have enough money put away that I can go and get an Airbnb and live in another state for a little while, I think that's a great way to live. One of my great friends actually lives that life. He was a professional snowboarder. He made some money. He had a snowboard brand company that he started. He was able to exit that, and he has a job, but he's also living remotely. He bounces back and forth from Maine out to Nevada, out to Lake Tahoe, and then down to California, out to Wisconsin, and he just bounces all around the country. Sometimes he drives, sometimes he flies, and I'll tell you, it seems like a pretty good life. He's having a lot of fun. So when you're thinking about, am I going to get a job or am I going to start a business, it's kind of a both kind of conversation. You're going to have a job for a little while to help fund your business. If you're trying to start a business but you don't have any capital, then it's going to be really difficult. It makes it a lot harder to get that thing off the ground because you have to pay for websites, you have to pay for your LLC, you have to pay for maybe a separate phone number. There's a lot of things that go along with having a business, so you have to have some money. Having a job is kind of a necessity in the startup world. So what I would say, if you're trying to decide, maybe you're just getting out of college or you're just getting out of high school, do I want to have a job or do I want to have a business? My best advice to you would be to get a job right now that's in the field that you would be interested in having a business in. So maybe you're somebody who's looking at the trades. Maybe you want to have your own welding or carpentry business. Go get a job in one of those industries, learn from a master, learn from somebody who's successful having a business in that, and then take that knowledge and start your own business on the side. And they'll probably support you. They'll probably be happy for you. If you're working full time for them and you do some work on the weekends, they're going to be proud of you. A lot of entrepreneurs want to see other people become entrepreneurs, and that's great. Say you want to have a marketing business. Maybe go get a marketing job, get into the marketing industry, start doing some side gigs with some marketing. I was actually using a really cool software, High Level. You can get that for really cheap money monthly, and you can start to do marketing for other people. You can build simple templated websites, and then you're essentially leasing it to them. They pay you a monthly fee to have the website as opposed to a big upfront cost. A website can be $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 or even way more than that. But maybe somebody that has a small business, they don't have a lot of money to build a website. And you can come to them with an opportunity to get a website for $100 a month, or a website and some email marketing campaigns for $300 a month. And you can do that for somebody, and then you can do that for somebody else, you can do that for somebody else, and you can start to build up an income. And when you have enough of those clients, now you can start thinking about leaving your job. Now, one thing I want to share with you guys, and this is a lesson that I learned personally, if you are somebody who has a job and you also have a side business and you want to transition, it's really natural to want to quit that job early. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to want to leave. And about 8 years ago, I had a side business. I was working in network marketing. It was going great. The business was booming. It was growing really fast. I was making a few $1,000s a month, and I was ready to get out of my job. I was bartending at the time, and I decided to give my notice. It was kind of in haste. There was a situation where I was unhappy with the management. I got scolded for closing down the bar, even though I was told to close the bar. It was just this huge misunderstanding. They wrote me up. I thought about it. I slept on it. I went back and I gave a letter of resignation for my bartending job the next day, which is kind of funny. But I'd been there for 8 years, and I actually cared about them. But I'd had enough. I'd bartended for long enough. I did that for like 12, 15 years, and it eats at you after a certain amount of time. But the problem was that $3,000 a month I was making wasn't consistent. It was fluctuating. I was hoping and thinking in that scenario I was going to go from $3,000 to $3,500 to $5,000. But no, it stayed around $3,000, and some months it was $2,500. It would go up and down a little bit. Now, sometimes it would be a little more than $3,000, but it wasn't enough for me to not just cover my bills. I was able to cover all my bills and my expenses that way, but unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of money to do much else, and that's really not much of a life either. So if you are working a side business and you're trying to get out of your job, what I would recommend is wait until your business is bringing in at least minimum 1.5 times what you're used to making, maybe 2 times. If you can be patient and wait for it to even be 2.5 times what you were making at your job. Because in the meantime, while you're making that money at your job, you're able to bank the money from your business and start saving it and build a nest egg and get yourself the ability to have 3, 4, 6 months worth of savings put away, where if everything failed tomorrow, you would have 6 months worth of your bills to be covered. Bills and living expenses, food, some entertainment, and work on putting that away. So that's just something to think about as well. So I saw this video on YouTube. The title was, should I get a job or should I start a business? And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I've been there. I had a job while I was running my business, and I quit, and I quit too early, and it ended up being disastrous. I've also had a business where I didn't have a job, and it made it really hard to grow that particular business. That business failed because I didn't have enough capital to keep it going, and it made it really tough, and it was really frustrating. And then I have a job right now where I'm making good money. I'm working in the sales field, and everything else is seeming to be clicking because I'm positive, I'm feeling good, I have money coming in, and other things are coming together because of that. So it has a lot to do with your mindset, how you're feeling, whether you're happy, whether you're depressed. If you're down, business isn't going to go well. You got to run your business while you're up, you're high, you're excited, you're moving forward in life, and that's going to help you a lot with that. So are you going to start a business? Are you going to get a job? I would recommend getting a job and starting a business, using that job as a way to learn about the business that you're trying to grow, learning from other experts in the field, and then slowly start to make your way out of it. And hopefully, if you think like I do and you want to be one of those free-range humans and travel around the country or travel around the world, you build up a little bit of money, get a little bit of savings, and then you can start traveling. And you can go and spend a month here and then go back to your place, and then go and spend 3 months somewhere else and then go back to your place. Ideally, I'd like to have a home base where I have, an apartment somewhere so I can keep my stuff there. I don't have to just move everything into a storage unit. But I think for me, the best life would be to have a nice place somewhere. Right now, an apartment. Eventually, maybe I'd have a house. I don't really know if I want to buy a house quite yet. Economy-wise, it's probably not the best time to buy a house. But just in general, I'm not really sure where I want to end up and plant my roots. So, find out what life would be awesome for you, and then start working towards it. Work your job, work it like you mean it, and do a great job. But then take from that and learn what you can do in your own business. Because every job essentially is a business. You just don't own it. So learn what they're doing. Take the lessons that you're learning in that and apply it to your own businesses. So hopefully this helps clarify for some of you that are in that position where you're like, do I start a business? Do I get a job? The answer, unfortunately, you might not like to hear it, is both. You're going to have to work 40 hours a week in your job, and then you're going to have to work another 10 or 15 hours a week in your business. You're going to work a couple hours in the evening. You're going to work some on the weekends. But that's fine because you're doing it and it's something that you're excited about, and it's going to be helping you move your life forward. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate it. Go ahead and like and subscribe. I've got one video that's doing great. I got like 100 views on it, so I'm excited. I'm just going to keep putting these videos out. I'm going to get better as I go, and I want to build a community of other people that are like myself, that want to be free-range humans, that want to be digital nomads, that want to travel, enjoy life, they want to share business ideas. I'll share my ideas with you. You share your ideas with everybody else down in the comments. And as long as it's not something that's gonna, if one person starts doing it besides you, that'll ruin your business. But marketing, funnel design, stuff like that, there's tons of room for people to do that. Content creation, there's tons of room for people to do that, and it's not going to affect your business. So if you have any ideas, share what you're trying to do down in the comments as well. So I'll see you guys next time. I'm Chris, and have a great day. Talk to you soon.